For 20 years in the midst of Winnipeg winters, Music and Mavens has offered premier recitals and engaging lectures with diverse showcases in the mid-afternoon at the Rady JCC. Tuesday, February 20th, one of Winnipeg's premier chamber trios, the Ensemble Exchange, takes the stage in a varied concert of 20th century composers. To tell us more, I'm joined by Elation and Madeline Hildebrand of the Ensemble Exchange. Guys, thanks so much for being here.
You're welcome. Thanks
Great
for
to
having
be here.
Oh, it's such a pleasure to have you. The Ensemble Exchange is made up of some pretty prominent musicians in the city. Mika Hildebrand on the clarinet, of course, Madeline Hildebrand at the piano, and you, Elation on the violin. How did you guys come to play together?
Well, our first concert together was on the Millennium Concert Series downtown in June of 2016. Mm-hmm. And since then, we've, I think this will be our 8th concert to date. So we've put in quite a number of shows since then. This was kind of my idea, I would have to say. Madeline and I have done a couple of duo concerts, and we had played prior to that together, and it was a great time. And there's such great repertoire for a trio with the clarinet added. And Mika and Madeline had also done some recitals together. Just looking at the repertoire and knowing that it would be a great mix of personalities and artistry, we decided to make some concerts together.
And you have. I mean, you mentioned about 8 concerts or so. Being as busy as you all are, do you get to perform or rehearse together as often as you'd like? Or could there be more even, you know?
We've often gone concert by concert, meaning that it's not so much like a band where, you have a weekly rehearsal. Mm-hmm. It's more like we get an opportunity, we program some repertoire for it, and we find the time to rehearse. I think we all value all of the opportunities that we do get through the concert series scene in Manitoba. So we find it easy to find rehearsal time because we are always immensely looking forward to a show. We love playing together, so that's how we make it work, because we love it.
The best motivator, it really, really is. What about the grouping? Clarinet, violin, piano. What do you like about that grouping?
It's very convenient to not have to practice bowings. It certainly saves a lot of time. And and intonation isn't quite as tricky with the piano to just sort of give a great bass to everything. The ensemble is a fairly modern invention. There's the Feder trio out of Michigan State University, which commissioned a ton of repertoire for this particular instrumentation. So there's actually a large array of music to choose from, and we're really enjoying exploring it. Mm-hmm.
It is kind of a 20th century invention that way. I mean, like Bartok, Stravinsky, because you do have the 2 higher sounding instruments, right? You have the clarinet and the violin together. Mm-hmm. Like Mozart did the viola thing rather than the violin aspect of it. What about for you, Maddie? I mean, kind of grounding things at the piano. What do you enjoy about that particular grouping?
I love the repertoire. The repertoire, like you said, is it's pretty contemporary. Contemporary meaning like post 1900, mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. All the way up to repertoire that's still currently being composed for this ensemble. Like, for example, one of the pieces that that will be on the Music and Mavens program is a trio by Paul Schoenfield, and that piece is written 1990.
Yeah, it's a super recent piece of music.
Yeah. Yet with that specific piece of music, and I would say with all of the repertoire we've played recently, the date shouldn't frighten anybody. Mm-hmm. It's really, if I can say, accessible music, and it's fun, and it's athletic, and it's showy, so what do I love about this ensemble? I love the repertoire that's available for us. Yeah.
So you've spoken a little bit to that repertoire and what is to come with the performance as part of the Music and Mavens concert series. And I didn't really know the music of Paul Schoenfield. I really didn't, but I know that I gave it a listen and I so thoroughly enjoyed it. It's very accessible writing. And to me, one of the things that becomes evident is, especially in his writing in that piece of music, it does have this klezmer kind of vibe. And that is, to me, this grouping is so indicative of that feel and that sound. It's got to be a lot of fun to play.
Totally. Yeah. Well, the violin and the
riot.
clarinet are very portable instruments, you know, and also like lend themselves to klezmer music. And yeah, you're right. You know, the piece has really been influenced by Hasidic dance music, and so it's not. Well, you could almost classify it as a crossover piece in that it's trying to bring, you know, Hasidic music into the concert hall, and it was also meant to be played at gatherings too. So yeah, I actually had the pleasure of going to Israel in the first week of this year to take a lesson with an Israeli violinist named Roy Shaloach. On this particular piece, he hadn't played this one. He's played a different piece by Schoenfield, which is for cello, violin, and piano. So it's more common, called cafe music. But he loved the piece, and he was really working on sort of the rhythmic structure behind it, which is so essential to getting that real dance feel. So, and actually, like the Khachaturian that we're playing as well, we're starting out the program with Milo and then Schoenfield, and then the Khachaturian piece that we're doing. It also has a very strong dance music influence, folk dances. So yeah, a lot of our repertoire is very.
It's based in the folk scene and also straight off of dance music and sort of like gathering kind of music.
Yeah, the Khachaturian brings that Eastern sort of feel to it as well. And I think just to round out the program, you mentioned that it begins with the Mio, and he's kind of the dude that encompasses it all, really. If you look at his musical influences, it's everything from like folk to jazz to Latin to polytonal stuff.
A lot of Spanish flavors in it too.
Exactly. What can you tell us about
Brazilian.
that piece? What can you tell us about that piece of music? How did it come known to you guys in the repertoire?
Yeah, I don't know. Well, for Elation, you introduced this piece to the group. We love to open concerts with this piece because it's short, it's 10 minutes, and it is such a celebration. You get these Brazilian type harmonies and rhythms in the very beginning. The first movement is over in about 2 minutes, and then there is a slow second movement called Divertissement, and it's a lyrical interlude, and then this great third movement called Jeu, which means play. So it's like a little, I think it's like a hoedown for just violin and clarinet, so I get to sit out in that one. And then the fourth movement is super dramatic for about 1 minute, and then it's like he says, just kidding. And he goes into this rollicking 6/8 dance, jig kind of dance feel. So that's the Mio.
What a wonderful and diverse showcase that really keeps people dancing. What about the afternoon? The last thing I kind of want to ask you is, it's an afternoon concert. Do you program differently for the afternoon? I mean, it keeps people going. It's a little pick-me-up. Or do you just keep it straight ahead? I mean, this is obviously music that you're both passionate about. Do you think differently that way?
Well, the main difference, I would say, about this concert is that there is no intermission, right? It's just an hour of straight-up music. So you want to keep the flow moving. You want to, give it a great sort of, you want to end on a high note, and you want to also offer the full package in 1 hour, so with no breather. So I think that sort of, in terms of the flow, we wanted to put the Schoenfield in the middle to when we still have lots of energy, because that is a very virtuosic work, and to put at the end, it's maybe a little more risky.
We're tired then.
Rightfully so.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, you're gonna get the full package in an hour. there.
Outstanding. You can see the show Tuesday, February 20th from 2 to 3 p.m. at the Rady JCC. Elation, since you're here, I just want to ask you, just to kind of close things out, the big announcement with the WSO, the new incoming music director, Daniel Raskin. Do you want to offer a little bit of thought, feedback on it?
Yeah, well, I think the musicians of the WSO are really excited. It's pretty neat because this announcement came on Valentine's Day. And we actually met Daniel Raskin for the first time. Our first performance together was 3 years ago on Valentine's Day.
No way.
Yeah, quite.
I was wondering what the connection was because I was thinking Valentine's Day. It's an interesting time to announce.
Yeah. Well, it just has worked out really well that way. He's definitely somebody that we really look forward to working with. He's got so much integrity as an artist and as a person as well, and we're just all thrilled.
Looking forward to hearing more. Elation Pauls, violinist of the Ensemble Exchange, also joined by Madeline Hildebrand here in the studio, the piano player, and Mika Hildebrand rounds out the ensemble. You can see them performing as part of the Music and Mavens Daytime Concert Series that takes place again at the Rady JCC Tuesday, February 20th from 2 to 3 p.m. For more information, head to our website, classic107.com.